I'm Kosta from Car Focus, and today we've got the Kia EV9. We do cover quite a lot in these chapters, so if there's something specific you want to see, look in the description below and skip ahead to the section that interests you. The EV9 has just arrived in Australia, and it comes in 3 different versions. The Air, the Earth and the Water. No, I'm just kidding. It's the Air, the Earth and the GT Line. The one we have here today is the GT Line. It's the top of the range and it's the dual motor version. Let's have a closer look. Alright, so Kia EV9 going for my first test drive. Haven't driven this car before. This is the first time I'm driving it, so pretty excited. There's been a lot of hype around the EV9. It is Kia's new flagship vehicle, so it's got a lot to live up to. Let's have a look how the drive goes. So first impression, very smooth, very quiet, exactly what I'd expect from an EV vehicle. A lot going on my screens in front of me, a lot to get used to. I've got the regenerative braking on level 1, so it's not very aggressive at all, meaning that I'm still using my brake a lot. And like a more traditional car, I'm actually going to flip it over now into iPedal mode. So in iPedal mode now, I should only really need to use the accelerator as I drive along. So first impression, I really like the steering wheel. I like how nice and thick the steering wheel is, gives you a nice firm grip. Good quality material. I like that on a steering wheel because that's what you're interacting with the most. Responsiveness is very good, as you'd expect from an electric vehicle. We are in normal mode, so I'm not in sport mode, and it's still very punchy, very responsive. I might just flick it over into sport mode now and just see how that changes things up. But pulling off now, it is in sport mode. 5.3 seconds 0 to 100 is what the GT Line is published at. It's interesting because the Earth, or the mid-spec level, or the entry-level dual motor, has got the exact same setup, the exact same weight, but it's published at 6 seconds. So the only thing I can think of is that they've slightly tweaked the GT Line to be able to give you that slightly better performance off the same setup. So remember, with this one, it is the all-wheel drive, so we've got 2 140 kilowatt motors, one powering the rear wheels and one powering the front wheels. So I've put this rear view mirror into digital mode, so I've got all my mirrors in digital mode at the moment. It does take a little bit of getting used to because my head keeps wanting to swing out to where the mirror would be. I'll still instinctively check my blind spot, even though I shouldn't actually have to. With these mirrors, I can see very clearly there's a car coming up in my blind spot at the moment, and it's 100% visible on both the digital mirrors. Very good all-round visibility and awareness around the EV9. I think that these digital mirrors would be extremely helpful in bad weather conditions or at nighttime driving. Would really help you to get great visibility around your vehicle. Alright, so we are going to activate the smart cruise control and let it maintain the speed for us. So as we come here, it should pick up the 100 and then allow us to increase speed to 100. There we go. It's got really smooth acceleration, great pickup. EV9 competes with the high-end Teslas, electric Volvos, BMWs. You know, if you really look at the price range of this vehicle, it is high-end, it is luxury. It does fall well into the luxury car tax bracket here in Australia. So it does have lane keep assist as well. So in theory, it's detecting the lanes around me and it can actually keep the car inside the lanes. As much as my hands are on the steering wheel, I'm not actually steering. They're just there as a precaution. The car is keeping itself well within its lines and doing what it has to do, keeping to the speed limit and cruising along really comfortably. You just got to get your head around all these digital screens. Traditionally, my brain is hardwired. I just want to find a mirror, and every time I look where my mirror should be, it's just not there. And you've got to just adjust your perception and understanding of how the car's giving you feedback. But I don't think it would take you long to get used to it if you have to buy the car and own it. all of those things would adjust, your brain would adjust to that stuff real quick. In the heads-up display, now it's a real shame that I can't show it to you. There is a car in my blind spot. It's actually our camera car, and the heads-up display is actually giving me a warning to let me know that there's a car sitting in that spot, just in case I can't see it in all my different digital mirrors that are actually showing me the car as well. It is definitely a high-end luxury vehicle, very well appointed. As a family car, there wouldn't be a single passenger that would be disappointed with this car if they had to drive around with it on a long journey. Overall, 10 out of 10. Wow, what an amazing car. Looking at the front of the vehicle, we've got the LED front headlights. So you get this gloss back finish over the arches, integrating the front park sensors. You've also got these air intakes just there. You've got your 360-degree view camera. You've also got your active front grille. So this grille here is active, meaning it can open and close. And just there you've got all your radar sensor module that sits just behind that section of the bumper. Popping the front trunk. It is gas strut loaded, making it easy to lift and really neat and tidy underneath here. You also get this little bag which gives you all your different chargers. This is your standard wall charger, so it's a normal type 2 cable for AC charging, which then also just plugs straight into a wall socket. Inside this little guy you get your vehicle to load adapter. This would plug into the car using the AC port, and then on this side you'd be able to open this compartment and get your 3-prong. The only other thing under the front is your windscreen washer fluid level bottle, which you can fill up over there. And then you also get these little guys that allow you to access some of the other fluids of the vehicle over there. And this guy opens up, so that's your brake fluid just there if you need to regas the aircon. So this compartment is to access the air filter replacement, which would probably be somewhere in there. Okay. Then you should access the battery. There we go. So there's your positive and negative terminals for accessing the battery. It's also got these really clever rubber non-stick mats so that things don't go flying around. And there's another one down here as well. Also easy to remove and clean if you need to. Overall, very neat, very well designed space. Moving to the side of the vehicle, we've got these black wheel arches. You also get 21-inch tires, really big, and you get these aerodynamically designed alloy wheels. Moving across, one of the most distinctive features of the EV9 is the lack of side mirrors. They actually have these side cameras that are mounted where the mirror would be, and then this camera projects an image onto a screen inside the vehicle. You also get the 360-degree view camera mounted just there, and your side indicator light. Across the bottom you get this piano black finish with the same dark grey that breaks up the color and the black just a little bit. And you then, just above that, you get your proximity door handles, which pop out when the car's unlocked and pop back in when it's locked. The windows, you get privacy glass at the back, and on the third row seat, more privacy glass. It's all finished with black, so there's no aluminium or anything in there, so it's just your color and the black, and that ties in with the roof rail as well, which is also black. Looking at the back of the vehicle, it's boldly designed, really stands out. Starting at the top, you got your dolphin fin aerial. You got this swept back rear spoiler. Normally I'm used to seeing these spoilers being pretty straight at the back. This one kind of sweeps down, incorporates into the high mounted brake light that's quite long and runs along the top. You also get this camera over here. Now this camera is for your digital rear view mirror that we'll have a look at when we get inside the cabin. And moving across, you get the GT Line logo. The key is pretty unique. It's actually quite big, and it's got this really different finish to it. It's textured and it's granulized. Gets the Kia logo just there embossed at the top with this nice little clever hook for hooking it. You also got quite a few buttons on the key. So you got your normal lock button, your unlock button, and your hold to release your rear tailgate button. If you flip it over to this side, you get the hold to start button, and you got your two summon buttons or park buttons to help you park the car remotely with the key. You also get your hold to release the front trunk button. All in all, 7 buttons on the key. So if we hold down this button, we will release the power tailgate. Inside the boot, there's quite a lot going on. You've got these tie-down hooks. You've got a 12-volt power point just there. This little guy allows you to open the boot or the power tailgate from the inside of the vehicle. More tie-down points. This is for the parcel shelf, which I'll show you how that works later. This hook over here is designed to keep the seat belt in place, because when it's out like that, it interferes with the parcel shelf. So if you're using the parcel shelf, you want to tuck this away and keep it out of the way so that the parcel shelf can clear nicely without catching. On the other side, you've got the same setup for the seat belt over there. You've also got a vehicle to load 3-prong adapter just there. And these buttons are to lower your second row seats. So this button would lower the left and this one would lower the right. On this side, if you roll and open that, you have your access point to open your electric charge point manually, because at the moment, or in standard use, it's opened electronically. So if you don't have enough battery, or if the battery is completely flat and you need to open it manually, you do it from there. It also has these little trim finishes which allow you to close up these spots and give you a completely flat loading area on either side. Why are they removable? That's so that you can stow the parcel shelf away, and I'll show you how that works in a moment. So moving to the parcel shelf, I've installed it just there. You can see there's still a gap between it and the second row seats. That's to allow the second row seats to fold down. The parcel shelf also pulls out and hooks in just there so that you can hide whatever baggage you have at the back here. The parcel shelf can only be used if you're not using the third row seats. So if you want to use the third row seats, you've got to pack it away, and you do that quite simply by letting it roll away there. Quite easily, just spring loaded, it pops out just like that. Once removed, you can open that, and that's where these little guys come out. Oops. Probably don't need to use that much force. And then that one comes out. Once removed, you can stow it away. You got to get it in the right direction, so the handle's got to be facing backwards and up. You then slide it in this way and use the spring-loaded function, and then just slide it down and across, and then it's completely stowed away like that. You can then put these little covers back on each side. And then grab this guy. Done. With the third row seats up, you then can lift this cover, and it's got this hook here that allows you to hook it just there and keeps it up so you don't have to hold it up. Underneath here you get your little air compressor which will pump air into a flat tire for you. You've got your eye bolt, and you've got your recovery kit cylinder tire resealant that you can re-inflate a tire using this sealant. All versions of the EV9 use a run flat kit, so none of them have a spare wheel. Once the seats are completely flat, you get this great loading area. You also get this boot net, which is really handy and is designed to allow you to secure things down in the boot. It's also got these clever hooks that allow you to clip into any of the already supplied tie-down hook areas, but you can also hook it into these. So it's got these little guys here which brings out another tie-down area for use there and there. So you get these additional tie-down points that sit in the back of the seats. So all in all, if you add them all up, you get 6 tie-down points which you can modulate and use as you need. So to get this one back up, you actually got to use the lever. You pull the lever up and it releases this chair to come back up. You can also retract it again using either one of 2 buttons. There's a button on here and a button over there, and they both do the same thing. If you just press the button, it releases the chair and brings it up. which then allows you access into the back. So if this chair is up and in position like that, you can get in and you can sit in the third row seats. But as you can see, I'm using quite a lot of the leg room that would be reserved for this passenger. So if this was locked in place, oh, I wouldn't fit. So in the third row, you do have 2 cup holders on each side with a small storage compartment. You've also got this little guy that allows you to clip the seat belt away so it's not flapping around. You also get a USB-C charge point just there for the third row, and this can also be used as an armrest. So if you want to create more leg room for the third row seats, you have to slide this guy as far forward as he goes and then slide him back till he locks. Once it's locked in place, that's the most amount of leg room you're going to create for the rear passenger, but you have used up the leg room of the second row seat. So here I'm still okay, I can still get in here. So let's find out if I can get into the third row with the extra leg room. And in its most forward position, I've actually got enough leg room to fit in the back. If I had it in the back position, it would be where this is sitting and I wouldn't be able to fit. I had to move the seat forward so you can get an idea of the leg room, but this is pretty much what it looks like. I do find that the right hand seat's a little bit awkward because this seat is locked down in there. My leg room, my foot room doesn't exist. So I've got to put my feet underneath there, which keeps me at an angle here, really uncomfortable. So I think that if I were to sit on this side, it would probably be more comfortable. I'd have better movement on my legs and hips. Quite a big door. It does have these sunshades over here that allow you to let in the sun or block it out, if you will. It's got air conditioned and heated rear seats. So using these buttons, you can either blow cold air or hot air through the rear seats. You've got these seats that come straight out of the Nero. And you've also got these perforated headrests, so you can actually see straight through them and gives you more visibility through the headrests. Got this beautiful denim finish over there that wraps down and then goes onto the plastic hard back of the chair. You've also got this adjustable map pocket and a USB-C charger just there for this passenger. Cup holders for the rear passengers. Another USB-C for the other passenger. And storage space underneath here. It's actually really deep. It goes all the way in. You can see my whole arm disappears in there. A really deep storage area, so you can store quite a lot in there. And it even has a little map pouch just there. The material is an artificial leather with perforations and indentations everywhere, just breaking it up really nicely with a jewel tone and giving it a luxury finish. The center armrest is ratcheted, so you can actually adjust its height. The rear head restraints are height adjustable, making it super comfortable. You've got loads of leg room in the second row seats, unless you move them to the full front position. So you can give the third row seat passengers some more leg room, in which case you lose a fair bit of the second row leg room, but you can still fit. You might have seen in some of the earlier videos with a 360-degree seat in the second row. Those seats don't meet Australian standards, and so we won't be getting them here in Australia. The second row passengers get their own reading light just there. They get their own air vents that they can control. They've also got a full air conditioning module or control panel sitting just there, so that they can control the air conditioning of the rear cabin. Shade for this glass roof has to be controlled from the front, and it is electronic, so you can open and close it with the touch of a button. You'll notice these 3 buttons over here. They're actually to control the passenger seat electronically, and they're mainly so that the driver can access these controls without having to come around. Go backwards and forwards, tilt. This front button here is for this little leg bolster, which brings this bolster up over here and puts it back down. This one is front and back, as you'd expect. Backrest, tilt up and down. This is your lumbar support. And this one is essentially your full lie down mode. So that packs it up, and then if we press this, It actually brings the chair forward. It's for charging, so if you want to rest while the car's charging, it brings the chair into this sort of lie down sleep mode and allows you to just rest here while the car charges. So you've got your electric window operations over here, your central locking, your electric mirrors with fold back function left and right. You've got your heated seats, your massage seats. Over here you've got your air conditioned seat, heated seats, and over here you've got your 2 memory seat positions. This is your side mirror. It's replaced with a camera, so there's no longer an actual physical mirror on the side of the car, you just get this little camera. The GT Line also has the Meridian sound system. The door, it's got this nice denim finish over there. You've got a bottle holder in there, and then your Meridian sound. Moving inside to this control panel, this is your charge port release switch. This little guy you press twice and opens the front trunk. This one you hold and it opens the rear trunk. That's your ESP on and off, and this is your electric park brake. It's got aluminium finished pedals on the brake and the accelerator. This third stalk has got your engine start stop button, and it's also got your shifter over there. So at the moment we're in park, but you can also shift it into drive, neutral, or reverse. And to put it into park, you just press this button here. On this side you have your smart cruise control buttons and your trip computers that can be set and accessed there through the menu button. On this side you got your radio mode button, your voice command controllers, volumes up and down, track searches, your phone, and your user selectable button. And just underneath there you have your drive and terrain mode buttons. On the GT Line you get an electrically controlled steering wheel adjustment. You also get your driver attention sensor that's situated just there. And just behind there you got your paddle shifters, which on these electric vehicles control how much regenerative braking or how aggressive the regenerative braking gets. So plus for more and minus for less aggressive regenerative braking. And once you put it into its highest setting, you can actually use it as they call it the I pedal, where you only use the accelerator pedal. Looking at your digital display in front of you, you can see it's panoramic and it sweeps all the way across. So even though it appears to all be one screen, if you look really carefully, there's definitely the corner piece there where the one screen ends. There's this little center piece which appears to be its own little control, and then the second screen starts just in that corner over there. So this center screen here is all your satellite navigation and what would traditionally be your radio controls. In the center screen, you've got your tire pressure sensors, you've got your distance that you can travel on your current charge, you've got your battery life meter there, your regenerative braking currently set to level 1. If I hit this menu button, it actually changes the center screen. It gives me my smart cruise, tire pressure sensors, compass. You've got your digital speedometer, you've got your air conditioning and seat settings. You can see it clearly from that angle, but while you're driving, the steering wheel is actually in the way of that little section of the screen. If you hit the drive mode button, you can go from sport to my drive mode, which is customizable, eco, normal, and back to sport. You can also hit your terrain button, which allows you to set snow, mud, or sand. So it's all a very digital experience, as you'd expect from a full electric vehicle, from these little electric side mirrors. Moving across, when you indicate, it brings up the blind spot cameras in your dash. And that comes all the way across to the 360-degree view cameras, which gives you a view of the rear of the car, the front of the car, your 3D view of the car, which is interactive and allows you to interact with it and get the angle exactly the way you want it. And then in your settings here, you can set your park distance warnings, your top view preference lines, rear view preference lines, and your 360-degree view split up over there. You also get in the rear view mirror, you get a traditional mirror. So if you want to drive it using a traditional mirror, but if you want, you can also activate that additional reverse camera, which brings up this digital view of what's going on behind you. Just underneath here, you got a little charge port, 12-volt power point with a spring-loaded little door. You got a USB-C fast charger, and you got an additional USB-C fast charger, but with the difference with this one is you can choose to have it be USB linked to the audio or media system, or if you press that button, you can just turn it into just a charger so that the phone you've plugged in there doesn't become the Android Auto Apple CarPlay selected phone. When it's all orange, then it is the selected phone. Moving to this armrest section over here, you've got this little door that opens and closes and folds away to reveal your cup holders. Your cup holders are retractable, so if you don't want to use them as cup holders, you can actually clip them away just like that and create a storage space. And if you want to activate the cup holders, you just hit the push buttons and they pop back out. And if you want to close this whole area up completely, you just do that. It's also got a fingerprint recognition system, so that's the fingerprint reader, and that's to set up your personal profile for your seating, your driver position, your steering wheel position, your mirrors. Everything gets controlled just there. Your auto hold button, hill descent assist, your park button that activates all your different park cameras, and your park sensors just there. Over here you got your wireless charging pad, which allows the phone to slip in to the back there and charge wirelessly. You've also got this section here that opens, and it isn't a very big storage space, but that's because, as I showed you earlier, you got all that storage space underneath. What's cool is that this center armrest doesn't actually link to the front dash, which then gives you all this extra space in here and this storage compartments at the bottom here. This control panel over here has got your reading lights. It's got your SOS button, which calls the Kia roadside assist. It's got the sunroof controllers just there, your Kia Connect functionality, as well as your rear shade for the rear sunroof controller. If you've got any comments, leave them in the description below. If there's any other cars you'd like us to do a car focus video on, leave that in the comments below. Thanks for watching.